Long ago, in a valley swallowed by mist and silence, stood a shrine of stone. The people said it was older than the mountains, built when the first settlers carried fire into the dark. At that shrine, the villagers lit candles, not for light, but for prayer. Each flame, they believed, carried a voice to the heavens. Among these villagers lived a poor man named Marek. He had no gold, no family, no fields of his own. All he had was a small candle each night and a heart that beat stubbornly against despair. While others lit their candles to ask for wealth or long life, Marek prayed only for his people. "Spare us the famine, spare us the winter's hunger," he whispered as he struck his match. Yet Marek's flame never held. The wick would spark, flicker, and die. Night after night, his light was swallowed, though others burned steady. "The shrine rejects him," some whispered. "He is cursed," others muttered. But Marek, though ashamed, returned each evening. "Better a candle that dies than a prayer unspoken," he told himself. One night, as Marek knelt at the altar, he noticed the smoke did not rise as other smoke did. It curled sideways as though drawn away by something unseen. His hands trembled as he struck his match. The candle lit, glowed warmly, and then a breath, cold and deliberate, snuffed it out. Marek froze. The air was still. There was no wind. Yet he swore he heard a sigh, deep and mocking. He looked around, but the shrine stood empty, its stones dark and still. His candle lay cold. "A draft," he told himself, though the words sounded hollow. He lit it again. Once more it sputtered. Once more the invisible breath bent the flame backward, and once more darkness consumed it. Marek's heart pounded. He dared not speak of it to others. Who would believe him? Who would not call him cursed again? But in his chest a seed of dread was planted. The following nights brought no change. Each time Marek lit his candle, the unseen breath returned. Yet now whispers came with it. Not words carried by air, but thoughts pressed into his skull. "Little spark, why burn at all? Night devours all." Marek pressed his fingers to his ears, but the voice was inside, not outside. He struck his match anyway, hands shaking. The flame died instantly, and the whisper laughed. The villagers noticed his hollow eyes, his unsteady hands. An old woman spat as he passed. "Death has marked you," she said. "Stop feeding it." But Marek only clenched his candle tighter. "If I stop now, then the shadow has already won," he thought. On the seventh night, Marek saw it. At first only a ripple near the altar, a shimmer as though heat bent the air. But as the candle lit, the ripple deepened, thickened, until a shape leaned forward. Cloaked in smoke, tall and bent, with no face but a hollow void, it exhaled. The flame died. Marek's blood froze. He knew the figure, though he had never seen it before. Every child knew the tale, the visitor that came for the dying, the one who blew out the last candle of every life. Death. Most men would have fled, but Marek did not. His knees buckled, his lungs burned, but his hands struck the match once more. And for a moment, just a moment, he thought the flame flared brighter than before. The shadow bent closer, its voice now clear as cold iron in Marek's mind. "Why waste yourself, little man? Others mock you. None would lift a finger for you, yet here you kneel for them." "Why?" Marek's voice shook, but he forced the words through his lips. "Because if I let this flame die, they die with it." The shadow's hollow face tilted. "They would not fight for you. They call you cursed." Marek swallowed the sting of truth, but he struck his match anyway. The flame returned. The shadow leaned forward, blew, and again the shrine went dark. But Marek's jaw tightened. "You may take it 100 times," he whispered, "and I will light it 100 more." So the struggle began. Marek lit, death snuffed, again and again, until his fingers blistered, his wax melted down, his matches burned his skin. Hours stretched. The shrine echoed with the hiss of flame and the sigh of death. Marek's voice grew hoarse, but he filled the silence with words. "I light this for the hungry. I light this for the weeping. I light this because someone must stand when others cannot." At times the flame flared higher, as though his will fed it. At times death's breath grew harsher, curling smoke into claws that clawed at his chest. Yet Marek endured. At last only one candle remained. Marek's body trembled, his vision blurred. The shadow leaned over him, vast, consuming. "This is the last. Surrender, and I will grant you peace." Marek stared at the villagers' faces in his memory. Their suspicion, their fear, their whispers. For one heartbeat, despair nearly claimed him. "They don't deserve this," he thought. "Why fight for them?" But then he remembered the hollow eyes of children, the silent prayers of mothers, the empty fields. If not him, then who? He struck his final match. The flame rose. Death inhaled, deeper than before, and blew with a force that shook the shrine. The flame bent, danced, nearly broke, yet did not die. Death tried again, and again. The air roared like a storm, yet the little flame clung to its wick, trembling but unbroken. Marek's eyes shone with tears. He lifted the candle higher. "This light is not mine. It belongs to hope itself, and hope cannot be killed." The shadow recoiled, its form unraveling, its breath faltering. For the first time, Marek heard it gasp, not in power, but in defeat. As the shadow dissolved into the air, the shrine grew warm. Marek's candle burned steady, casting light across the valley. Beyond the shrine, mist rolled away, and in the barren fields, green shoots pushed through the earth. The famine had broken. When dawn came, villagers found Marek kneeling, his face pale, his hands burned, yet his candle burning strong. Whispers spread, the man who battled death itself and whose light saved them all. The villagers, once fearful of Marek, now bowed their heads in reverence. But he shook his head. "Do not praise me. Praise the flame that refused to bow. For it belongs not to me, but to all who stand against fear." From that day forward, the shrine was no longer feared. Travelers lit candles there, not only for prayer, but for courage. And always they remembered Marek's lesson. Courage keeps your light alive, even when fear tries to snuff it out. And so the valley lived by a whisper passed from tongue to tongue. When your light wavers, light it again. For even death cannot conquer a flame that refuses to bow.